I saw them at Reading Festival, and it was literally the best time of my life. Like, it was the mosh pit. And do you know who warmed up for them? Run the Jewels. So if you think about that crowd, we were man. If you got Mikey and that cop walking off, and then fucking Fred Durst walking on, bruv, how can you like not be gassed? Like, we were literally sat there like.
Welcome back to Shotgun the Orcs. You're here with Tom and Aidan, and we've got another special guest today. Welcome back to the podcast, Mr. George Bucks. How you doing, man?
I was doing a wrestling entrance.
He was.
This is the Warrior, isn't it?
I was wondering what the fuck you were doing.
What sort of Rob Van Dam?
Actually, off the back of wrestling, did you know there's an Undertaker documentary coming out soon?
No.
Wow. Yeah, there's an Undertaker documentary in the making, man.
Think about the amount of time that man has spent loyal to a company.
Oh, like, incredible.
Unreal. Unreal. I like people around me all my life from I've been into wrestling since before, before you can even remember what life was like. You have to just rely on other people's sources. That's how long we've been going to like WWE at Birmingham and watching fucking cage matches. Trust me, like my family are deep rooted. So when people say it's fake and people just, I'll cut them people out of my life. They're not important.
So when I first found out, like the Undertaker and Kane like weren't real brothers, I was just like in denial for so long, man.
But Skepta and Jeremy are, so it's okay.
Oh man, it's crazy though. Yeah, it is mad though. And the whole like Paul Bearer thing, like Pole Bearer, it blew my mind when I found out that was like.
Have you been in tune with Paige, the girl?
They made the film about her, didn't they? The Rock.
Fighting with my family, yeah.
I rated it. I love that story.
I thought it was a great film. And what's his name? What's the
from Hot Fuzz?
What's the guy that plays the dad? Nick
Frost, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, so good in it. So good in it.
So good. He's had a couple little roles like that. He had that, and he was also like a dealer in Attack the Block.
Attack the Block, yeah, I remember that.
And, like little roles like that are really good for him because he can like just bang himself out there, like, and he's actually quite like that in real life from what I've gathered of like interviews. So it's quite sick to see what he would have done or what he can do when he's not with Simon Pegg.
Yeah, that's true, man. It's true because I mean, like the Cornetto trilogy, I don't really see it as a trilogy because I didn't like The World's End that much. I love like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz are just classics, man. Like I don't think I could resonate favorite out of the two.
Did the other two, like where you want to tell everyone and you quote it and stuff. I don't actually really remember anything from other than his name is Gary King. I don't remember that much. That's about it. And they have some good tunes on it.
I can't remember that much. It's probably like that says everything, because the other two are just like ingrained. And I just remember everything about it. Yeah, man.
So good, and you can reference it to so much in life as well.
It's great, isn't it?
And when you're with your friends and stuff, like some of the Inbetweeners, like I always say, like no one's ever going to be able to do that again. Like there's never going to be that social actual like impact where like literally you're going to school the next day after an episode, and I remember everyone knowing what was going on, and like everyone saying all these quotes from the like they had 2 hours before they probably went to sleep, slept, came to school in the next 2 hours, and they've got like all these J quotes in their head. No one's ever gonna fan that. Like
you could say it's almost got like quite a bit of a cult following, hasn't it?
Well, Inbetweeners.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say more than that, man. It was like a cultural phenomenon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But who hangs on to it now is like a cult following of like select, like it's like a generation thing sometimes, and like there's this. My generation was actually turning into those boys, like where those boys were at. Like, I was at that age when that was happening. So for us, that's always going to be engraved in our heads is what not to do. Every situation was like, right, I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm not going to go for a wank before I have sex. Shit like that. You just but you actually were watching it and going, right. Because the writers, that's about their lives, right? I've never really
guess so, man. I mean, it's so relatable as like growing up in the UK as well. Like it's very, very British. But do you think it would land now? Because it's like everything's very kind of PC now. Do you know what I mean? And some of the jokes, and that is how like we used to talk at school. Do you know what I mean? That's how kids used to talk growing up.
Honestly, yeah.
And you watch it now, and it's
Unfiltered.
just like, fucking hell, like through like today's lens, like a 2020 lens, you're watching Inbetweeners and thinking, Jesus, that seems so normal when I watched it all those years ago. And now I'm like,
It's
fucking hell.
capable if you were to do it on like a Netflix release only though, because like if I just watched that Wrong Missy film, which is like Adam Sandler's company, you know, and it's got David.
Oh man,
Spade and
my
stuff.
wife made me watch that last night, man.
And
What's
like
it called?
it's like rated R comedy, and I'm thinking like if this was on DVD, like there's some things that wouldn't be allowed. So it's quite good in that sense that we can get that like gap now where if it doesn't go to cinemas, you can push it more, like and you can be a bit more broader with it.
Yeah, man. I thought it was terrible though. I was just like, this film is whack, man.
Yeah, I think it's the trying to be serious role, trying to like he was trying to have like a serious issue and like relationships and stuff. Those actors like that aren't really good at getting your heart and like getting you to like really feel sorry for this guy because he's like done the wrong thing or whatever. Like that's what he was trying to do, wasn't he? I don't want to give it away.
The script is like thrown together as well, you know, when you just know that like
I think
this was written in an afternoon. Do you know what I mean? It's always
a lot
like
of
that
it's just them on set as well, like just improvising. Because I was literally just come from watching a podcast to doing one. I was just watching Steve-O's Wild Ride with what's the guy? Can't remember the name of the guy now. He's like in loads of films with Adam Sandler. He's in Grown Ups and they like hang him upside down on the bus in Grown Ups too. He's like the bus driver. Crazy.
It's not Rob Schneider, is it?
Nah, but Rob Schneider's in it as well. He's the guy that's with Rob Schneider like in the flat and they've been smoking.
Rob Schneider is a carrot. Did you see that South Park episode from years ago? It's like Rob Schneider is a carrot.
I don't think I've ever watched more than 4 episodes of South Park. Is that bad?
Yeah, probably.
From the family.
I think South Park's grown up with its audience and it's so clever. Like it's one of those shows from when it first came out. It was like people kind of like it was misconstrued as being like really immature, but it's actually genius satire. And you watch it and like Trey and Matt, the writing is just fucking incredible. They just nail everything
world, aren't
so
they?
well. Yeah,
that's the thing. When I see Michael
like
Jackson
turnaround, isn't it?
Legends.
They've got a really fast turnaround between what's actually happened in the news to like the episode they put out, isn't it?
That's a mistake that American Dad and Family Guy makes. See, I think they're not as quick with that. And like I used to see. That's the thing. That's why I didn't watch South Park because I found American Dad and Family Guy and instantly didn't really think about that for a long time because my sister was into South Park, but didn't really follow what she did in telly-wise because she watched NAF telly sometimes. And so yeah, I would fully just watch American Dad and Family Guy all the time, but half of the jokes I wouldn't be getting because it would be so Americanized to the point where it was like Americanized from like 1980. So even if I'd just been watching the news on my phone a bit, I still was not going to get anywhere near that. It was I see what you're saying with South Park is like when you see Kanye and you see other people in it like that, like that's when you know. And like the Donald Trump stuff that I've been watching recently, when I'm like around Baz's or something, he has it on. Like it's hilarious. I get to these series like that and Breaking Bad, like I've done that, but like say for example something like that where like there's so many series, when you find it you sort of feel fucked. Like it's like looking at Everest at the bottom and just being like, I've got to climb that. I got to watch all of that or none at all really, because that's how people do it. So that's how I feel with South Park. It's just there's so many episodes. I'm gonna have to chong a lot of weed and sit there and watch it for a long time. Maybe I'll do that when I retire.
You just have to be selective, I guess. It's just kind of thinking to yourself, like, right, what kind of thing am I in the mood for? Get some suggestions in from people who you trust, and just think, like, yeah, you know what, I kind of put stock in your opinion. I'm going to just devote some time to this. Or to your point, just don't bother because there's so much fucking content out there, man.
That's why I haven't sat down to watch Harry Potter yet. So I've never watched the Harry Potter film.
Not for me, man. But
I can never get onto what's that one that was so big? I can't remember what it's
Lord of the Rings?
No, not Lord of the Rings. The one that's come out recently, the series, like Game of Thrones. I couldn't get onto that because there's just so much. I just can't be asked to just watch it all.
I struggle with like fantasy stuff, to be fair. Like stuff that's about. I mean, Game of Thrones was good, but I really struggle with that kind of thing, and like Marvel as well. All of that kind of.
Yeah. No, I
like stuff grounded in reality.
What about do you like sci-fi?
I don't mind like Star Wars. I like Star Wars and stuff, but that's about it. But
I prefer a lot more just realism. I don't know.
I wish they did more like This Is England '86 and things like
mate.
that. Like that's me. Like that has me because it's real and it's raw, authentic. Like I feel it.
Have you seen Brassic?
See now, I need to watch that. That's Joe Gilgan, isn't it? Yeah, the guy who played Woody.
I
met him in High Wycombe outside JD Sports when I was about 14. It was the first time I'd ever been punched. And my sister was taking me out the next day for a Nando's as a treat. She'd like just grown up and like started getting a job in that. And I fucking couldn't chew on these fucking chicken. Like my jaw was just like all bruised and stuff. First time I ever took a punch.
But he's
1 out of 3.
He's exactly the same in real life as the character he plays.
That's what I was about to say to you. So when I see him outside JD, I got up to him and I called him Woody.
Yeah.
Looked at his hand when he shook it. He shook mine, he's got LOL tattooed on him. That's his character's girlfriend.
Girlfriend. Yeah.
What? Like you lived this shit, man. Like this is...
He's a G, man. His character as well. He's just like
I just
real
saw some
endearing.
Photographs of him dressed in like Carhartt and shit as well. So I reckon he's down with the UK hip hop. Really, I reckon he's like he looked quite jiggy, like he's been listening to London Posse or something recently. I want to know what he's listening to. I reckon his music taste is insane. Honestly.
He's probably into a lot of like ska and that, isn't he? And
he must have been from that film for real. That film, like the music around that film, is what makes it so beautiful.
I saw it at the cinema, man, when it came out, man.
Story, like horrible story, really.
Toots and the Maytals, man. Such incredible music, man.
A lot of people forget that the specials like covered Toots and the Maytals. Like Toots and the Maytals is like original, and then like a lot of people skip that and go Madness specials because that's what mum and dad listen to and stuff. But if you go in on it, it's sick. Ska music is amazing. Mick Swagger was in a ska band. Did he tell you this when he was on?
No, man.
No, what?
Swagger was in a ska band for quite a while. As like the guitarist, I want to say, maybe keys, can't remember. Like a proper big band where you have like a lot of members, because ska music is so hard to create in a minimal format. If you watch Madness, if you watch the specials and you see their stage setups, that is a band. Like
they're like band. 5, 6 piece, aren't they?
If not more, yeah. When they've got like people, they got when you got the 3 on the side with trumpets as well. You don't even see them when you're watching them.
Yeah, I've seen.
That's like one thing I always.
I've seen them play at like ska bands, like play at like Boomtown and Reading, and they sound, some of them have like big double basses. Like, and
they'll do. It's authentic. That's why I like it. It's just such a sound. You can't replicate it as a amateur. You really have to know music almost, and that's why it's clever that Swagger's like. When I found that out working with him, I was like, that's sick, man, because I grew up listening to that. So to know that I'd probably seen his band as well, I think, because he was like doing a lot of covers and stuff, and I used to go and watch those sort of bands all the time as a kid with my parents, or as a young adult I'd go. But I don't go pub anymore. I fucking hate humans.
And they're all shut as well.
The ska is like it's almost like a fusion, isn't it, between like reggae and just like rock, but it doesn't like slander. It doesn't slander either genre either. It fully like.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah, like if you take like Limp Bizkit's rock and rap thing, and you think what other people have done with that. Like
such a weird segue to Limp Bizkit. I like it.
Yeah.
We're talking about Toots and the Maytals, and it's like, so Limp Bizkit, the genius, innovative sound of Fred Durst and Wes Borland.
I just switched up there.
That's how you Fred Durst in the house, man.
That's how you do it.
But it's weird how like that sound is such a time capsule from like the early 2000s. Like Limp Bizkit, like late 90s, early 2000s.
The clothes as well and everything. I'm loving it, man. And
even though like I rate it, a lot of it sonically, it's dated fucking terribly. Do you know what I mean? Like you listen to it like ironically.
Hey, I was about to say, only time I ever hear Limp Bizkit now public is like if I'm in like one of those like sort of, like we've got it's Purple Turtle. And it's like a club where you get like drum and bass downstairs and rock upstairs or something like that for like everyone. There's not really a dress code.
Yeah.
Them sort of clubs are the only times I ever hear like people wanting to like jam to Limp Bizkit, and they're always doing it ironically. They're always doing it like, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be listening to this.
I joke, but me and my wife went to see Limp Bizkit and Korn live in Cardiff like a few years ago, and it was fucking amazing. It was like a big
them
party,
two
man.
together as well. Like that's
yeah,
worth more money than you probably paid, isn't it? Like,
and
how much did you pay for that though? Because like they're too big.
Can't remember, man. It wasn't actually too expensive, I don't think, but it was just like Limp Bizkit just knew what everyone was there for. Do you know what I mean? It was just like it's a big party, it's a throwback, it's just like a blast from the past. Let's just have a fucking good time with it. And so like that was, it was mad enjoyable.
I saw them at Reading Festival, and it was literally the best time of my life. Like, it was the mosh pit. And do you know who warmed up for them? Run the Jewels. So if you think about that crowd, we were man. If you got Mikey and that cop walking off, and then fucking Fred Durst walking on, bruv, how can you like not be gassed? Like, we were literally sat there like, it's like Christmas. Insane. That was when I got like a little, I can't even find it now. I was swinging my arms around, because at the time I was into hardcore as well, which is like a form of punk. But they sort of do like this like dance where you like swing your arms and stuff, and I was always into doing that. I like just love shit like that. And I did it, and I fucking swung my arm up, and it hit someone's tooth, and it just went like tack. And I looked, and it was like his tooth had just gone into my hand. It's fucked.
Oh man, yeah, a lot of stories about that kind of stuff, man.
That was for Break Stuff, I think, or Nookie, one of the two.
Yeah. Break Stuff is obviously like the one that gets everyone rolled up. They both do, to be fair. Nookie was older though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's on Significant Other.
They did another one with like more recent, didn't they? Called like Gold Cobra or something, and that wasn't even that bad. I quite liked it. I think Lil Wayne was in the video though.
What was the album before Significant Other?
Chocolate Starfish.
Nah,
that was like the first, wasn't it?
I'm finding
it. No, that was Starfish.
No.
What a name.
Chocolate Starfish in the hot dog flavor.
The hot dog flavor water.
It was something dollar bill, but I can't remember the name. $3 bill. That was it. $3 bill was like $3 bill. Was their first album in '97. Significant Other was the one with like Method Man and that on. End Together Now. Do you remember that song with Fred Durst and Method Man on a fucking song, man? It's insane.
That's the one. Was that the one with Gold Cobra on? Is that project?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that maybe like the later on. They were filming like a video where they were like in.
Gold Cobra was much later. This is much later, I think.
Yeah, they were like filming it where they like race in Greece, like that sort of thing, in like downtown LA. Like you get it on GTA, like those like water dock things that like people drive. I don't even know what they are, man. Honestly, couldn't tell you. Riviera.
I think that is quite a lot. Like I think that's later on. But yeah, man, that's crazy.
This
such a blast from the past.
Like when there was like phones and stuff. You know what I mean? Back then, you just mosh pitted and got your tits out. Now it's like.
Gold Cobra was really recent. Well, relatively recent. It's 2011 it came out.
Jeez, so they're still popping. They can still work. That's good.
Yes, I mean, that being said, that was still like a decade ago.
Yeah, I don't think many people remember that song either, other than me. I don't think I've heard anyone mention it, and you guys had to Google it.
I was just thinking, like, have we even actually gone into a proper like introduction yet?
I introduced him.
Introduced him, but I was just going to say, like, so what have you been up to then, Bucks?
Yeah, man.
How's
life? I've been up to so much, man. But it's been like really quiet. It's like a lot of quiet things. Do you see what I'm saying? Like a lot that I just like can't really like be like, oh, I got this coming out, because we can't do the video properly, and if we do, it's going to be really minimal, and there's only so much you can do right now. It's just us two or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've been, but working music wise, I've just been making, and then just getting all those songs up to scratch. And that's what you got to do, because sometimes I like to come back to songs and then look at them, listen to them, and think, is it good, or can I? I've just done a song with Bear, and like the verses change like 3 times. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm sure when people write films, it changes completely from what it started at.
Man. That
this is the best time for that, and because no one's waiting on too much, because they know you can't do too much. So
that's true, man. That video that dropped, Disgusting, recently.
I love that.
Did you film it before the lockdown, or was that during? Because it looks everywhere outside looks dead. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, it was dead. So it was just me and my girl, so that's our household, so that's calm. And then Baz was like always actually 2 meters apart, because this is funny,
yeah,
right?
I'm sorry, man.
you know, I'm not saying this like I'm trying to cover myself. I wouldn't give a fuck, and neither would he. He just does. He just randomly like has so much care for this stuff, like out of nowhere. And he's like, yeah, we better be cautious. And like, he bought me some raw the other day, and he like chucked it into my house because he didn't want to like come near me. That's how it's been. But like, yeah, so it was good that we actually still got like decent shots for that. But I think the dead sort of space looks quite nice. Like I quite like
man.
airy, innit? Like everywhere.
Yeah,
like I just shot something. I took it down, or it's on my IGTV actually. I think still. It's like a outside Reading train station, and usually that shit's rammed, bruv. Like all day there'll be people walking in and out. It's like as busy as Paddington. It looks like a train. It looks like an airport, but it's a train station. Like it's insane. And there was literally 2 people, and then me, and then I was like, "This is why am I not filming this?" So I went and filmed it, and just shot. I just stood there in front of the station, just spat my bars or whatever. But even that looks good, because it's like, to me, that's like uncharted territory. Like imagine trying to film in front of all those people. It'd be so embarrassing, but I can do that same shot with no embarrassment because of this.
Yeah, man.
Like,
I
have to perform, because obviously when you're a rapper, like you're usually quite confident anyway, but like you kind of have to, like when you're a rapper, you kind of have to like act you're rapping out in a music video to make it interesting. Otherwise they're literally just watching your mouth, and it's quite hard to do that when you've got lots of people. Props to anyone who can do it like just there and then. They're probably on coke.
Yeah, man. You need some kind of like, bit of courage, or chemical courage or something. Yeah, exactly.
It's so when the lockdown was like, I was like, well, to be fair, there's some spots that I've been thinking about for time, and just like I haven't really wanted to go there because people fucking constantly there, man, or walking in a way where I just look like a dick trying to do something there. So yeah, it's been nice.
That's the tune though as well, man. That was like, disgusting. Was I think it shows like your progress. Just seeing like your kind of releases over the past year. That's kind of some of your best work that you put out. I think, in terms of like visuals and the bars, like the concise delivery of your bars. It's just such a. If that's what's to come, if there's more of that to come, man, then like people need to stay locked for this shit.
It's all more fun. That's the thing. Like I wasn't having enough fun with it. I was just making like hip hop tunes and stuff, and it was just like constant the same like vibe. And then I was like, hang on a minute, I need to bring it up a vibe. Thinking about it was mainly thinking about gigs and stuff like that. I've played a lot of gigs and done just straight like boom bap the whole gig, and people are really moving, but I want them to move. Like I want them to like embrace the moment that they're in, not the fact that it's just me. It could be anyone, but they're at a gig, mate. Like they've paid to be there. Them to just like fucking let loose, like, because that's what I did when I was younger. I fucking loved it. I used to go to these hardcore bands or whatever and just start swinging my arms around. I'd go home and I would no need to smoke weed, no need to drink, because I'd let all my shit out there. And if for people who don't have music as an event or art as an event in general or anything like that, those moments count, don't they? Seeing like Travis Scott go mental on a roller coaster. And I'm not saying I'm doing that. I'm nowhere near that, mate. But like fucking to just make these songs a bit more poppy. Not poppy as in.
I hear what you're saying, man.
Pop as in like when it comes on, people are going to be like, that's what I was thinking about when I started. A bit more fuss with it.
Thinking since we last had you on, man. Like I think just following your music and the stuff you've been putting out, I think it's gotten a lot more sort of vibey, like proper sort of feel good. Like it is. I think you'll sound very
myself though. I think that's another thing. Is I started to feel better myself. I was in a worse place when I started music. That's why I started it. I think that's why a lot of people start it.
Mm-hmm.
They sort of need that. They need something, and that's why they go to it. So I mean, it is because you love music, obviously, but it's always been a vent for me, and it's always been a chance to fucking just say what I want to say and stuff, and feel good about something. Because I didn't do much, so to have like you guys, for example, telling my song's good. Do you know what I mean? That's the only trophy I got on my wall, innit? I got no football. I didn't do football. Didn't do rugby. Didn't do karate. Didn't do maths. Got no GCSEs. Fuck all. So when you do something like this, it's rewarding no matter what you're doing. So I've always started to reap the benefits of this. All fucking like I blocked it out for time, like, and I was like, shit, like these little. It started as like just like little like texts or like comments from people that not necessarily used to speak to me before. and things like that. And I was like, fuck, you really got to hang on to them, bro, because that's actually the bigger picture, bro. Like, people actually fucking care about your music and stuff. So I started to feel way more happier just knowing that what I'm doing is actually doing something. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't doing nothing for years. I just went to the skate park. You know what I mean? Just chilled, just hung out, just drunk, just did whatever.
So the general response has been quite positive then.
I'm just, well, yeah, I don't think I've ever really had much hate. The only time I've ever had hate is when I did that. You must have seen that graphic designer guy went at me because he said I weren't paying him when he'd said he'd do it for a t-shirt, and I put it on my story. Like,
yeah, I remember, man. Didn't you use some of it like in a track or something?
I put it on a SoundCloud thing that was on
that's it.
a long time, so it wasn't seen by anyone other than who was getting sent it by me as like a spruce. So
amazing, man.
And he posted it in the basement and like changed it crazy, but like just things like that. It's like, bro, like, come on.
But it's mad. Like even the way you're structuring songs, like you said, make it, you know, poppy's probably the wrong way, but just a bit more kind of memorable. Like Disgusting is structured in a really kind of good way, like it's a proper song. Do you know what I mean? It's not just like beat drops, bars, end. It's kind of like it's a properly structured song. You got a bridge,
I don't want it to sound like The Weeknd. I'm just saying, like, I'm saying pop, that like that kind of pop. Fucking, I'm sick and tired of just like not putting all in. And then I was like, nah, like it's time to just like go that extra bump, like, because I told you guys before, you asked me, didn't you, what was it, grime or hip hop? And I was sat there like, that's because I wasn't blending them enough. So sat there being like, well, I kind of have to say hip hop right now because I'm only putting in for them.
Man.
I'm only doing songs with swagger and stuff like that, and it's like it's just this and that, and like that's hip hop. But now that I'm trying to like contribute to things that I like as well as doing the ones that like I started with. I'm trying to now contribute to other. I don't just want to do rap, bro. I'd love to work with a band again. I'd love to do stuff like that. But,
yeah, man. You're the guy who produced it. Is it Jay? Obviously, I'm not going to say Jizza.
JZA,
JZA, yeah.
I always just break it up, but I don't know how he wants it to be.
Yeah, it's confusing.
I never asked him how he wants it to be, but yeah, nah, man. His production.
He's killing
it. The thing with me and him is I just knew instantly that we'd grown up a little bit similar. We'd had that similar interest and stuff. And that was just from, no joke, I just see one picture of him as a kid stood next to this Hulk thing, like a comic Hulk thing. And I had that same thing, and I just thought, I'm going to get along with this guy. And listening to his sound and seeing what he actually likes music-wise, turned out I was right, bro. That instinct was right. He likes the same things as me, and that can be an eclectic mix of things as well. And he likes the same things too. So to be able to find like someone like that, like it sounds like a couple in, isn't it? Like to be able to find your little soulmate or whatever that has them same interests. Like I found my girlfriend, she was listening to A Tribe Called Quest when I met her at the train station. What was I listening to? Same.
Yeah, man. Writes itself, doesn't it? Yeah.
So and that's why we're together now, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? So
yeah, man.
Working with musicians is the same as that in a way, because you've really got to fucking feel that person. And that's why it's just been me, JZA and Bear putting out these songs. I don't not using anyone else. It's just them guys because I fucks with them like heavy. Like I call Bear and we talk for hours because like we get each other's like also when you're comfy with someone, if you've got a loose relationship with someone, it's harder to say you dislike something. It's harder to say you want to change something. So to be able to, me and Bear are on a level now where I could literally turn around to him and go, nah, mate, do it again. And he would because he believes in what I'm saying. And it's harder to get people to believe in what you're saying when you're on a loose relationship. So, bro, mate, keep your circle small like you guys are, innit? And you see, look, you can always work, can always do this, like it's better than fucking hoping and waiting on people all the time. But obviously I want to work with other producers. That's not me signing off, but it's just saying like right now it's unbreakable because of a relation, a mutual agreement of we want this to sound sick. Like, do you know what I mean?
It's good to have that chemistry, man. I always think of Bear as like the guy that just doesn't sleep. You know,
doesn't.
He's just constantly like on it.
He doesn't hibernate. He's not like a normal bear.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a shit joke.
I've never seen bitches back on a tree either, but but I know he just literally sits up through the night and he'll mix like so and so's like I was gonna name drop them, but I'm not gonna. So and so's stuff. that's coming out soon, and you'll be like, how is he doing it? And the reason he's doing it is because that time is airy, right? When you're sat there, you can't even hear like a car outside really or anything. So it's like, I reckon he's just better at that time. Like he just zones in more and he can just work. So that's how he's turned his body clock around so that he can work with how he wanted it to be. Do you see what I'm saying? Like how he wanted time to work for him was, I'm going to work at night because it's probably more airy, probably more fucking easier to do. Like I asked him, bro, does it not affect anyone else in your house? You know what I mean? Because you're like, you must think like, you've got to run songs through monitors and stuff, haven't you? Like you can't just do everything on your headphones. And he's like, nah, I've soundproofed it or doesn't do anything. Like it's fine. He's calm, man. Like I think he's calm in that, and he'll know that eventually. He said to me before, when enough's enough, I'll get into a proper sleeping pattern. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, if that's how it works for you, it works for you. I suppose it's crazy. Exactly, I couldn't do it, man. I'm quite an old man with sleep.
Are you still doing any bits with the Easy Life or Easy Living guys?
Easy Living, yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, so I had to correct myself.
Yeah, no, I've got like a song with Dylan coming, like he's like got, but again, COVID, you like, if people haven't got what like we had, where you like have had everything for a year before this, it's quite hard to like do work. So if you haven't got a mic or whatever, it's going to be harder to record. So I'm just waiting on that, and I've got a song with Bucky that's like kind of, it's not really a joke, but like it's not like I posted on my story like yesterday or the day before. It's like literally like D Block Europe, like it sounds like D Block Europe, but like we just did that because we like that music and we were just trying to see if it worked, and it did. So we might drop that because it's actually not bad. If you close your eyes and you imagine it's not us, and someone's got better chains than us, it sounds good.
Oh man, did you hear Skepta, Chips, and Young Ad's new album?
I've not listened to the whole album, but I've heard like a couple of the main bangers off of it, and I do quite like one of them. I can't even remember how it goes. That's how good it is.
There is one track
at the Trap House night.
Really well.
That's risky. I can't remember how it goes, and he's just like in this like flat, and they're all wearing the boxers and stuff. The mains boxers.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I think I rate it, man. I think it's a hard album, but still, I can't.
I thought it was a
fucking terrible like a Calvin Klein advert.
Honestly, I think it's hard, and I think they're bangers. But the only thing like that puts it down is Young Ads. I really just don't rate Young Ads.
I quite like his flavour in it because it's like they have done it well, 3 generations of like sound, because like that is that generation. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that is people influenced by Young Thug and when America really came over here, and then you've got like Skepta holding it down for the nearest to an OG as far as like DWE goes. Like if you watch the set where Wiley and Lethal clash. They're on top of the flats, I presume, because it's like it looks like the top building before you can go out onto the roof. So I presume that's where they were doing it at that time. And Skepta stood at the back just watching, and he was a DJ for years. So he's like as good as an original as Wiley, if you ask me, because he watched for years before he even did it. So if you judge him on what he just went from when he just started like making rap, you've got to remember the years before that as well. So he's done good. Chip is a good asset to the team purely because he could have got fucked over, bruv, with everything. Like he went mainstream, he clashed, which clashing is so raw, bruv. Clashing is having you as an artist as an open wound to the media and everyone for done. You are just gonna be up for anything, and you've got to be up for anything. And he went into that first Tim Westwood, and he fucking said to everyone it's war, and so he couldn't sit down from that point. He had to work and prove himself, which is quite a good thing. He kicked himself up the arse, bruv, and what did he do? He ended up now with like this, what was it in the charts as number 3 this tape,
something like that. I think I'm just like, I think I'm also like
it's like numbers says it all, doesn't it? Like from you could have failed and you didn't, like that's good enough for me as a musician to see someone like, bruv, if you could have gone the other way. You were making songs with Chris Brown.
I think I'm just slightly biased as well, though, because in my eyes, man, Skepta can't do any wrong. Like I rate Skepta so much.
I love Skepta, man, but I didn't like this album though. But only because I love Skepta. Do you know what I mean? I think that's why, like, I wouldn't necessarily put him with these other artists.
What did you think about the one he just did, Insomnia? Is that what's called, Insomnia? Yeah.
Yeah. Again, and I love the fact that he what I don't know if it was that album or the previous album. He took a plane to America and just went round to like loads of shows in New York and tried to get on like open mics, and that was just to
fucking Paranormal Activity or some shit. Jesus Christ, that was leaning over to me like that, but not falling.
The art is alive.
That's heavy. Like that's weird.
But no, I was just saying that I think like Skepta went over to like New York or something like that, and then just started like turn up on open mics just to like get his name out there. And I mean, I rate that so much because that's proper graft.
He did it in a basketball court in New York with that He had like a portable PA or whatever. Maximum sat on, literally sat cross legs with the laptop, and him and Shorty just did a set, and they had like invited a few people or whatever, and then more people turned up. And that they just got their name out, and they were handing out mixtapes. I bought one of the mixtapes. Like it's mixed by Tim Westwood and hosted by Tim Westwood. It's like a proper. Do you remember clubs used to hand out? See, I wasn't even old enough then, but my sister used to bring them home, and that's how I got into rap and rhyme and promo. Used to get those discs for nights, and it would say what they're gonna play and stuff, and they would make That's how it was hosted, and it was hosted very well. So for like the American people, they would have heard this like British guy, but in such a like, it was like well presented. You know what I mean? Like it was like literally there on a fucking silver plate, like platter. Like this is Grime, and this is your spokesperson, and like he wears this clothes, and he's got this uniform, and it worked so perfectly, didn't it? Really like. Change the game with a £10 Sports Direct hat, bro. Like,
the only grime artist that really made it to the States. Would I be right in saying it was only really like sort of Dizzy? There wasn't really anyone else.
Kano did pop a bit in New York or somewhere.
That the last album?
I've watched Kano and Gets both perform in like New York, like online, and I've definitely seen it. So it must have been, and this is early 2000s. Right. I think Crazy Titch was known in America eventually.
Gigs as well. Like
Gigs now Gigs is, he's like Gigs and Skepta obviously are quite chummy with a lot, and you got AJ Tracy and H and people like that.
Oh
now.
yeah, they're over there. That tune.
That was
Did you see the video for that?
Yeah, like outside No Jumper and stuff like. So to be linked with that, like No Jumper being like, the spokesperson for this new generation over there, it's like. It's all because he blended in. It's crazy. It's like a smoothie.
Because No Jumper came to the UK, and he did a few episodes with AJ Tracy, Ocean Wisdom, and who was the other? It was
6'7".
Yeah, 6'7".
They had a trap line rigging.
I was going to say that. Yeah,
so funny. Very crease.
Yeah.
So what's next then, man? Like from like making music, are you working on like a full length project, or are you going to continue to kind of leak tracks here and there? What's
like single dropping at the moment? I've got a single out on the 25th of this month called Monday Nights, and that's like complete. So you guys we've just been talking about. I've even been talking about this hype, this pop, but this song is the chongiest, nicest song you're going to hear from me. Like it's like proper chilled out. It's got a singer on it, and she's got like a beautiful voice, and it's just works so well. She's taken a whole verse. It's not just like I've done that typical rapper thing where I have them on the hook and sample.
Yeah.
No, I was like, Leah, you're gonna do this verse, and she's done this sick verse. And I think she doubted herself on it first because we spoke. I've done this similar situation with Leah, and I posted it on my IGTV because I like wanted people to know that is literally the first time we spoke. That's the first time we had a conversation. But to this tune, when you hear it, you're not going to believe that we never spoke. Like it's probably the best tune I've made, just because like I actually feel it.
That's that's really encouraging, man. It's like every new track you make is like showing an improvement, or like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like if your latest track should always be your favorite. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the.
But this isn't like that. Like I'm not like fully just like going in on like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like I'm not just saying I'm getting better, because I'm not. Like there's always room for improvement, but like this song is more like where I've really found my feet with songwriting. Like the hook I wrote myself, and like I'm just saying, like as a musician, like this is like I'm actually making music now. I produced the song myself as well, so this is like not Bear's beat, not JZA's beat. Like, this is my beat. Like, Bear mixed it and mastered it, but
Yeah.
for once I'm actually like proper doing it. Like, so it was really like I just impressed myself in it that I could do it, even if it's a shit song and no one cares about it. Like, I impressed myself in it, so that's enough.
It's a milestone, man. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's growth, isn't it? It's growth.
It's something on the tally for me that's like more than just one mark, because it's like I didn't just rap another song and write it. Like, all right, like I managed to like have this singer come on it and like it worked well, and she trusted me enough to actually sing my lyrics that I wrote as the hook.
Yeah.
Another thing, I said to her, yo, like in rap world, that's a no-no. Like, if you ghostwrite in someone or something like that, like no one wants a ghostwriter. Like, it's all like you'd be seen as like a dickhead. But she was so calm to do that and do her own verse. She wrote herself, which is sick. Like, I just can't wait for people to hear it, because it's like proper music, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? And I reckon mums can listen to it, but stoners can listen to it, but other people, and that's why I like these sort of songs.
It's versatile.
I thought I was just going to be like cheeky little shit, but it's still cheeky, but it's in a way that it's actually quite a good song. Like, this, like, I'm actually quite like rooting for it. You watch now, bruv. 10 streams and no video ever come out.
Do you have like a strategy or anything? You know, you said you're not working on a project, but it's like a single. Do you have it like any kind of strategy, or is it just kind of impulse? Just like, I want to release a song, there you go.
Yeah. Just when it's done, I'll drop it. Really, I'm usually like, and just it's like literally, look, if that's my mic thing there, and I don't even have to be in like a room, like in like a tight room. I don't have to be in no like studio because I got this thing on. So like, if I feel like doing a tune, I could literally just like lean this into my bed and do it. So that's how I've always lived my life with music. Is like, I always wanted to be accessible. I wanted it to be accessible. So if I feel like making a tune, I'm gonna make a good tune, aren't I? But if I don't feel like making a tune, it's work and it's like a chore, and I've like set up a fucking like big office and I have to go there to like that ain't really it for me. Like,
that makes sense, man. Would you ever like do like a bigger like body of work, like an album?
I'd love to, but I'd love to do it when I've got people around me willing to like put into it as well a bit more. Like, I want it to be like a eclectic mix of like things. Like, do you know what I mean? I want the right people for the right jobs and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Man. I'm not saying the people I'm around now, bruv, like just me, Bear, and Jay-Z, they can make a fucking sick album, but it's like, do
it now.
Yeah, we probably could do it this week. Like, it could happen, but it's like these singles.
You heard it here, guys. George Bucks' new album.
Yeah. This is what next week. That Rupert Murdoch does. Change it. Did you sneeze? You've got corona. Like, that's how easy.
No, man, I hear you. It's all in good time, isn't it?
Because they give you more. It gives you more space to like care for that one song and get that one song. Like, Disgusting, I just cared for that for a bit, and like it got like 3K views in like just over a week, and like that's like the best result for me I've had on a video. So it just shows that if you care more about like one thing at a time, it could work out a bit better for you. I don't know if it works the same for everyone else. I see a lot of people just dropping tape after tape, and that could work. And then you got 4 songs to care about for ages, I suppose. So all depends. All depends on who you are right now. I just find that what works best for me is having the studio wherever I am, and it not being a studio, it just sort of being the laptop or whatever, and just doing it. You know what I mean? It's comfy. Like, that's how I always want to be, comfy, relaxed. Just, I think the minute you make anything a chore, it becomes quite stressful. I've had times in music where I've made it a chore for myself and it's become stressful. Sat there when my manager had managed to get me on at Festival because it had got cancelled the week before, and there's me fucking that's my 4th gig ever as a rapper on, and you're like looking at the lineup on your phone and getting yourself worked up about it. And that's when it's hard. But if I'd have gone out there with the vibe I'm on now, it would have been such a better atmosphere.
Yeah, man. It's growth again, though, isn't it? I'm just speaking like from a kind of selfish perspective, I guess, because I would love to see like a feature-length project by yourself. You know, like kind of packaged, like hard copies, physicals. That's what I want to see. That, man.
When I did It Is What It Is, I tried to do that, bro. Like, I tried to make this project where it all like sort of interlinked, and like all the subject matter was like this, not the same, but like it was like similar. Each song was like had plots of each other in it, and it worked.
It's thematic.
And work as well. And I'm very disappointed in myself at that project, because I think what I did was I rushed it thinking that I had to do that, and I didn't really. But I think it's still not like bad, and like the beats on it are sick, and like I like the tunes, but I'm past it, as you say, growth. But it just happened so quickly because that was only last year, whatever. And I just played a couple shows and did those songs and was just like, nah, you can do better. Like you've been, like I said, I heard those comments more when I told myself. It's only until I told myself, you need to start looking at people's comments and like actually picking yourself up a bit, that it got a bit better. So I think the other people have technically made the growth. It's not really me, it's other people that have made my growth. They've helped me get to a better place in my mind, and a better place in like in music in general, like being able to like talk to you guys, being able to talk to like, do you know what I mean, having like a bigger platform now is like just something, isn't it? Like I'm always grateful for the little things. I'd never really look into the future. I'm just like, you know what I mean, like I did at the start, and that's what was wrong, was I was looking for a final result at the start. Like, what's the point? Just ride with it.
I think a lot of people do that though. It's just like playing a guitar or something. You just want to start being able to like shred immediately, and you have to.
Jimi Hendrix done that. Exactly. I've been there. I bought a Jimi Hendrix guitar strap with his signature on it, not a real one, obviously. Like, and I thought, oh, that'll make me play better. And that was like, you know what I mean, I've been like that from early. That was 9. I had a drum kit and thought I'd instantly be Keith Moon from The Who, and it just wasn't. I'd had more of a chance of just chucking a telly out a window than doing that.
It's just like distance, isn't it? It's just like. Patience, like people don't have the patience these days, do you know what I mean? So as you say, it's good to have that.
Have given me patience, and that reflects on other people. I don't think other people were as flexible as the like group of friends and stuff I've got now, and it has. Some of my friends from when I was younger as well have just aged into such fucking lovely blokes and women that it's made life just so much easier.
Yeah, man, I hear that 100%.
Like everything has just turned out to be a lot better than I thought, and I just started to smell the roses like last year, and like everything just got a lot better, really. So I think that's what it is. It's not really like the music is any different to how it was when I started, because I still like just love like writing everything. I call it Gogglebox Rap in this new song that's out Monday nights. Yeah, that's how I started. Gogglebox Rap got you feeling for your 3Ps. And that's because I like sort of sit there and I just take a bit of everything that I'm watching on the telly or whatever, and then you hear me chatting that bit of shit back from what you've seen already. See what I'm saying? Like, you've seen that episode that they're watching, but you're still watching what they're saying. That's always what my rap's tried to be. Is always tried to be like, I've always just wanted it to be like that kind of thing where at least one line will relate to someone each line or something, and eventually you've got like a group of people that might not necessarily like rap, but they just heard me mention Tracy Beaker or Jeremy Kyle or.
Man, I really rate that about your bars, though, man. They're so funny, like stuff you listen to in your bars, like you know, like Pull Up that I know you talked about Is What It Is, and however you regard that album. Yeah. But when you start talking about like Soy and then Roy, like it's just shit like that just fucking cracks me up. Do you know what I mean? Stepped in Soy, just like what the fuck's he talking about?
Really got to go in with the wordplay. I've really got to put in. I've got to rhyme like a word that's like got. It's like they play it like Scrabble. Do you know what I mean? I don't play it like that. I just play it as like It's more in the way I say it or the way it comes out and the way it like than like trying to like just fill the context all the time like so much. Like it don't have to be like that all the time. If that's your thing, then good. There's some sick storytelling rappers and there's some sick fucking detail rappers. You know what I mean? There's some people that can go really fast and there's people like Trillian who make the slowest rap look amazing. There's so many different ways of doing it, but each person that has their way that they love, and mine is just sort of keeping it like scatty and then like not too serious. I'm not as it is really. Like I like to get down and talk about like how mental health should be and things like that, but other than that I'm never really like too serious. Like that's the only time I want to be serious, when I want to talk about, you know, that shit and talk about other problems in like the world or society. But I never like wake up in the morning and I'm like, gotta get this fucking bag. Like, gotta do everything now. Like, I'm like, just, let's just chill. Let's make music and let's do it as I wake up. And if I don't want to, then I lie in bed and watch Drake and Josh, bro. Like, and that's how it works.
No, I respect that, and I think that definitely it does resonate a lot within your sort of music. Do you think part of the reason you haven't put out like a full length project is because I feel like with each of your tracks, they're constantly sort of leveling up in terms of where you are. So it's like a point. Is it a case of you're not where you want to be to put out a project,
or I just haven't really been through enough yet to like summarize it? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, because it's all a summary of stuff anyway. So, like, you know, like I'm just watching the world go by me, and I'm always taking little funny bits out or taking serious bits out or whatever, but of my life. But I haven't really done like a mega amount. I mean, we all haven't now, so it's quite hard to summarize what I stayed in, watched telly, and
man.
Told I might be able to go to work, but shouldn't go to work, but could go to work, but can't go to work by a guy with a fucking wig.
Do you think it's weird how, like, you know, obviously everyone's locked down now, celebrities included, and for the most part, not the most part, it's probably unfair to say this is a sweeping statement, but a lot of celebrities are narcissists. So when they don't have kind of, you know, the attention on them, they're kind of trying to one up each other on Zoom calls and all of this kind of shit. Do you know what I mean?
Stuff like that.
And it's so oversaturated right now with everyone doing that kind of thing. It's
another problem with
quite
that.
Entertaining.
Too many people are drawing for live Instagram things.
Oh man, I was about to say that.
I'm forgetting that we can fucking record these, and they're not just on for 2 minutes if you've recorded it. And they are saying some of the most stupid shit because they're going insane indoors, or they're bored, or they've just had enough of watching so and so, and they're gonna end up starting like more problems with their career or with other people just because they can't stop going online and talking, or going on the live and talking, and they talk too much, or they talk to the wrong people, and then that person that they're on with then sparks a conversation that they might not have had if they were being in an interview and they were media trained. They're like, it's not good. For the bigger people, it's not good. For the smaller people, cool, do what you want. You're networking, you're young, and you're like me. If I go on live and I'm trying to get like 5 people in like Tory Lane's house, that would be fucking brilliant for me, wouldn't it? Because I'm drawing people in to my page, and it's good for it's good for young people and whatever that are trying to get up there. But if you're an established artist, at that point you're treading on fucking eggshells, because there's people just watching, waiting to nab something out of that. And like you said, they change it quickly.
A weird world we live in, man.
I've thought of it, man, as in like you say about these really established people that sort of they just think like, oh, do you know what, I'm just gonna whack on a live and it will do really, really well. But then you start watching it and just like, well, actually, this is really fucking dry. They've just come on. They have there's no planning towards it. They just reckon they can just sit there just reading the comments, and it's going to be, and then you just end up switched off, getting so bored until, like you say, someone else comes in.
It saves the day.
Do you think it's because for the most part, like these people, and not everyone again, because they don't have their management around them, or they don't have anyone moderating what they say, they're just like, they're lost. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of they literally have nothing to offer or anything to talk about of any interest to anyone. Do you know what I mean?
They need those people sometimes, man. Like, even if it's they're not actually your manager or whatever. Like, so I had a manager, and he bought me my mic that I'm still using now, and like proper set me up, man. And like he got me a few good gigs, and like he'd always help me. And we still, that's what I'm saying. Like, I still text him now before I drop shit. He still hears stuff before everyone else, and like I'm always going to maintain that relationship, because he always said it's always going to be there. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you need as a musician, not just someone that's trying to get a check from helping you. Like, someone that just genuinely like has that interest. Like, that's, like I said, going back on the Bear and JZA thing, like we work well together because we genuinely don't just want to do it to an extent that we've helped you. We want to do it to an extent that it's what you want.
You're invested in each other's work. Yeah, exactly, man. And it's succeeding together, I guess, as well, isn't it? It's like a common goal.
£100 for 2 hours in Reading once to go to a studio and watch an engineer eat fucking Mr. Cod fish and chips and do fuck all and make my song sound shit. And I'll never get that 200 quid back. Well, my manager.
Yeah, but you've learned.
My ex-manager won't get that 200 quid back.
You've learned an invaluable lesson, though, man, out of that. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's
trust me.
Can't put a price on that, man. I love that. You
learned the lesson on smoking as well.
Zoot in one hand and a fucking Ventolin inhaler in the other. I love it.
It's not even working properly. From all those times I used to try jab fucking NOS canisters in here to see if it would do the same thing.
I saw you post something on socials, like I don't know if it was recently or the last couple of months, about how you are just making changed now to just do it fully organic through like networking, just building up those connections.
It's not even, it's not necessarily a change, because like I've never really like, it all started out really, it's a bit, this sounds like I've twisted it now a bit, but like I just didn't have money at the start. Do you know what I mean? Like, I had nothing. So if you don't have money to invest in your music, the only way it's gonna go is organic, innit?
Mm-hmm.
But to see the growth that I got from where I've come from, because I weren't in London or Bristol or Birmingham or somewhere where there's a thriving music scene either. I really depended on it. Like I just said, like all these other people are the growth. It ain't me. It's just like that, like fucking like ability to realize that you're actually affecting people, or you're actually being listened to, is crazy. And like, yeah, like I've never really like put much money on adverts or anything, so it's all just been like hearsay. It's all just been like if he sends it to him or they post it on their story or stuff. So
yeah,
I'm always thankful to every single one of these people, bruv, including you guys, including everyone that fucking posts things, because that's my ticket. Do you know what I mean? It ain't bought. I can't put like £500 on a sponsored ad and pay the rent, bruv. So it's always been organic. It's always been organic, and that's why I like it now. And I'm like, I've had like recently, I had a load of money come in specifically for music, and I'd rather put that on the sound than the advert.
Yeah, I hear that, man. Yeah, 100%.
I did, and I bought myself some more shit to help make music, and I bought myself some shit just to add to this what I'm creating, but didn't put none of it on. I put like a little bit on some Instagram ads when I put out just before I put Cuddle Up on or something like that. I think I might have put a little sponsored ad on that, but tenner, 20 quid, and like, that's it. And that doesn't go away.
I love how there is like, I feel like there is like a sort of network there now. Like as soon as I see you drop a track, like Cosm's posting it, Bear's posting it, Mick Swagger's posting it. You know, like we're trying to post it as well.
We're in a group chat as well, and like I used to have one with like Melvs and everyone and that. I don't know what's happened to it. There was one on Instagram.
Yeah, we were in that as well, like by accident, I think.
Oh shit! He fucking deleted it after. I think he had enough of me, really, because I'm always posting shit and no one else is. I just look like fucking Mr. me all the time. But it does come across like that. But it's not like I'm trying to be like that. It's just I fucking work hard in it. Like, so if I'm dropping tune after tune, I can't help it. Really, it's just like I know it's going to be annoying because you don't want to share everyone. You don't like everyone. You expect everyone to like every one of them. It's not just for one person, is it? So yeah, I like, it's just those sort of networks like that. Yeah, just being able to tell someone here and there, and Bristol, Bournemouth, wherever. Fucking, that's what's killing it right now. It's nothing more than you lot, isn't it? Like just fucking helping me out and like hoping that your mates hear it and appreciate it and think that I've killed it or whatever, or they think that I fucking killed the fucking rap game and I should get out. Like it can work either way, but I'd rather it be like that.
Yeah, man.
Like that.
Speaking of Cosm and Swagger, man, like are you boys still, you know, the Ant Hill Mobb? Obviously, that was building some momentum, wasn't it?
Well, that's me a lot. Like I do blame myself. Like I haven't given them. There's like 3 verses that I haven't given them, and I like need to get on that. But like I've been just so engulfed with another sound that it's hard to jump back into doing the thing that I was doing before or whatever. Like I was just making Disgusting and Cuddle Up and songs like that, and you've heard that they are not what I was like. It's not
I hear you,
man. Life that I'm spitting on anymore. Like that was a completely different vibe. So like it's like, yeah, it's hard to like tune in and get back into that voice, or even do that, or even just think about it and it be in the front of my mind. Like it did just slip for time like that. I know Mick's always texting me, but I still slips my mind. Do you know what I mean? Like I smoke a lot and I'd like do a lot of music. So yeah, it's like I fucking like the songs that we did already are sick. Like I love them and I'm down for them to come out, but we got to do 2 more and make it like I don't just want to give it to people and it'd be like
half baked. Yeah.
We're gonna do it. It's hard to comment. It's all Parky's fucking beats as well. Like it's a hard. I don't have to like play any of it for you to know that it's not gonna be like mediocre. Like there's some sick tunes on it because Cosm goes in. Like I don't even need to be on these other 2 tunes, bro. And they go in like that. I don't know why they're waiting on me, bro. They should just do their thing.
Well, I mean, you're creative, aren't you? And if you're gonna sort of create, then you got to have something to like put out there. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, to me, it's all mindset, brother. And like, I think sometimes me and Cosm and Mick can't tune in together because we're all got minds going like that, innit? Like they're always going outwards, they're never tuning in, so it's quite hard to.
I guess when you can't like physically be in the same room recording or any of that kind of thing now as well.
I prefer that as well.
Like
that's
you
why
said,
that's my main reason at the moment is I would much rather, because the first 4 were done at a studio that Cosm sorted, and we all met up, and that was like the second time I met Cosm, so we just fucking went in and did that, and that was sick. I need to burp. It's just like sat, you know, when they just sit like, and you just want them to be up here, but they're not. This always happens when I'm going to record, and then I'll be halfway through a verse, and I have to fucking go. You hear that? It come out there, like, and then I'll be like, I have to stop the recording and start again. But the like bit before I burped was sick, and like it was like the best I've done it ever. And I have to fucking cut it out because you can hear me doing a fucking Barney in The Simpsons.
No, man. I can imagine as a creative, though, it is difficult to get into the different kind of headspaces. Like, and
you've got to imagine
things move so quickly. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you think back to, even though it was still relatively, it's still, you know, not that long ago, really, you were recording with the rest of the Ant Hill Mobb. So much has happened, like, since then. In terms of, like, the lockdown, in terms of, like, your current headspace, the music you're making, and it's just I can see why it would be difficult to kind of like go between the two things. You know what I mean?
Done as we come into the new year as well. That start, so we literally didn't know what anything was going to be for this year. So like that's quite a blind shot, really. Like most people do it like midway. But like starting all your shit like at the start of the year is like you don't know how the year's going to progress. You don't know how big like Griselda's going to get in it, that sound takeover, or you don't know how Drill's going to do and everything. And like, so it's like you just got to shoot your shot in it. But I like the fact that we have faith in each other in it. So that's what sells it to me. It's like we all believe in each other's ability, and especially Parky's beats are, you know, like from years that
man. That guy is he's just relentless with beat making. He's just
it was something I said to the guys. It was something different for me actually, being a young one, bruv, because it wasn't actually like I knew much about Parky. Like I told you guys before, like in terms of UK hip hop, my knowledge has never been like great. And Parky to me was a guy that was always in the background on Don't Flop, and I would always look at his t-shirts and be like, this guy never stops repping himself. Like he is sick, he's notorious for repping himself. So when I met him, I was like, shit, it's that guy from Don't Flop videos, like 12-year-old still. But like when you actually listen to him though, like on a serious level, like and like the music, bro, like that's authentic rap music, bro. Like I love
the guy's a legend, mate.
Especially how he makes beats as well, bro. Like I've always got time for people who are properly sampling, properly just going in on it. Like, do you know what I mean? Not too synthetic, not too. It's like a good mixture of using the vinyl, but also using your Pro Tools and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's a mixture of both that makes it count. Got to have good mix of the old and the new, haven't you? Like to work well in a modern day society, really, because everyone loves the 90s, the 2000s, but we also love progressing, and we love everything and getting better. It's weird. So it's like, why do we
weird, man?
So much of the past, but yet we don't want to go there. We want to be.
It's like you throw tribute, but then you've also got to, like you say, that progression. You've got to do something new, something unique that people haven't heard, but still people still
throwing homage. But the whole time they're paying homage to something, they're trying to fucking one up it. And my questions that I wrote for you guys are right. This is the first one. If you had to choose a member of your family to take over doing your role, like as talking to me, who would you pick?
What, as in like just immediate family?
Any, like whether it's your household or just I don't know who you live with. It doesn't have to be your necessary family. Just anyone. Like I was just thinking, I don't know why I just put family. It could have been anyone.
What you mean? Like
if you had to choose someone to like take in your role, like say you were sick and you got a teaching assistant in or something like that, who would you have to replace you that you know that isn't like necessarily straightforward doing this shit?
I would probably say like my sister. My sister's she's not hugely into like UK hip hop. Like she knows about it, but she's quite inquisitive.
So she'd get good questions out.
Like a good sort of trait in terms of that. And then probably like one of my good mates, Chrissy. Like he's fucking loves UK hip hop, so he'd be good like for more the relevant side of it. You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's sick.
I would go for my uncle Joe, because even though he's not really savvy when it comes to hip hop and stuff, his like knowledge of music is just like second to none. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything else, like hip hop, not so much, but he can like appreciate it. But when it comes to kind of my appreciation of music, kind of stems from like my old man and my uncle, and just kind of going to gigs with him, and I think he would just. I don't know how he'd get on, but I think in terms of just the knowledge and the stuff he could pull out of his back pocket, I think it'd be entertaining. Do you know what I mean? So shouts to Uncle Joe.
I hope when you get your biggest guest ever that you have your Uncle Joe and his sister sat there interviewing him. And that actually, what you're saying,
we should do that.
What you're saying about going to gigs and stuff sort of goes into my next question for you guys, which was what was your favorite like non-rap song, like growing up or whatever, or what's that one banger to you that isn't anything near rap that you like? Fuck.
Oh man,
I'm a big Slipknot fan. Like I've loved Slipknot for some time.
Yeah, well, growing up, I was really big into like pop punk. So like,
yeah, man.
I'll show you. Hold on.
Wait, you're so like. Oh yeah. Yes, bro.
Is that
yeah, the Blink-182. So yeah, I was huge into them, man. And I'll be honest, I haven't even listened to them like in a while. But I thought, do you know what? Every time like I hear a record, every time I hear a Blink-182, like the older songs, every time I hear or anything from that era, I'm talking like Sum 41, that sort of stuff.
Papa Roach.
Yeah. Anytime it
Charlotte,
just, I just kind of like. Yeah, exactly.
That era was just insane.
It just throws me back to like just being young and at school and just not really giving a fuck and not having like that.
That's what they do. Also, just insanely embedded in hip hop, and you don't even understand. Like they're actually like as relevant in rap sometimes as like as actual rappers. Like people don't forget that Travis Barker's like deeply embedded with hip hop culture, and he actually used to take the other two down to Thingy. We were talking about this documentary on that group chat or something, or was it you guys I was talking to about that? There was something. Who was I talking to about LA? What's it called?
LA Originals.
And they tying into that, and it's like, bruv, like that just shows like they are sick guys, man. They've always been sick with it. They spent all their budget on videos just doing stupid shit. Like they've always been like clever with it and quite,
man,
like rapper like, like how we are like.
It's weird how Tom's like well into like UFOs and shit, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you
yeah.
remember when Travis Barker was on Joe Rogan? He's obviously like just saying how he just fully supports Tom. Like Joe Rogan's just like, so you're in like a really successful rock band. One of you just goes to look for aliens and therefore not making music anymore. How do you feel about it? And Travis Barker's just like, yeah, it's just how it is, like fair play to him. That's what he wants to do with his life.
Well, that's the thing. I think that you can always tell with Blink-182, man. At the beginning, they're just mates, isn't it?
Yeah, and exactly, just like
man.
And that's the thing. The media want you to be other things, isn't it? It's not nothing but what you've started as, isn't it? It's only like how the media then go. Oh, it's like, do you watch that True Geordie, bruh? The fucking big old bloke who does this podcast thing. He interviewed Dizzy, so I watched an hour and something of him doing a podcast with Dizzy, and like Dizzy said, what beef? He said the beef's only because you lot said there was beef with me.
Yeah, exactly, man.
There ain't no it was what relationship? Because he said, how's your relationship? And he goes, what relationship? There ain't no relationship. You created a relationship because you wanted it. And he said, next question. It's a fucking stupid question. He like proper set the tone was so shit they had to proper grovel back. It's so funny.
Yeah, man.
But like that's the thing. Like you can't just like be yourself sometimes because they're just like gonna constantly be watching you, aren't they? Like at that level.
Yeah. One thing as well, like with going back to what you said about Good Charlotte, like all the music videos, man, I used to just love the clothes that they wear.
I used to
the shit they used to wear. Like
you're describing my wife's taste in music, right? So we went to see Good Charlotte a couple of years ago. I was never like a big fan of theirs, but she absolutely loves them. And
this must have been that reunion tour, wasn't it? Yeah,
I think so. Because like one of them's going out with like, married to like Cameron Diaz, and the other one's
Ashley
with like
Simpson.
Jessica one of them's with like Lionel Richie's daughter as well.
Oh, crazy!
Do you know what I mean? They're like literally just like touring the world in a band, and they're just like. But she's my wife. She's a massive fan of Papa Roach. Like she's met him
last time I was
on man. This is she got a signed shoe, and it says like Kobe Dick if you're nasty.
Yeah, what's his name? What's his name?
Jacoby Shaddix. Yeah,
Shaddix.
And it's like when we first got together, like years ago, like she was just like, I'm into Papa Roach. You wouldn't really think to look at her that she's into like all that kind of music. And like for me, it was just like I haven't heard that band since I was like 13, 14 years old. Are they still going? Like I was just like, and she was like, yeah. Obviously, like they had that kind of commercial success when they first came out, but they've still been going all this time. Do you know what I mean? It's mad to think.
Yeah.
It's the same with so many bands, like Good Charlotte as well. Like to think that they've been going this long. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I switched off from like Slipknot, right, for years and years and years, and then a few months ago, I just kind of like I literally just thought like, oh, Slipknot, like are they even still going? And then I thought, okay, I'm just going to YouTube them. They dropped a song like a month before that had already over like 5 million views, and I was like, fuck,
they're huge, man.
That's the thing. I was a fan of Slipknot, as in I was like fangirling that one album. Do you know what I mean? For all those years, the same as a true Arctic Monkeys fan will actually only really big up the first two.
Yeah,
that's usually how it goes, and that's how I felt about Slipknot. And then I saw the Maida Vale concert. They did like a little concert in BBC to literally like 50 fans or something. Playing how they play as a stadium band always. It's always been that since 2001. Before that, 90s, I think 99. So to see like that, like it just shows you they're popping, man. They're always going to be relevant because they can't lose. Every time you put them in a tiny thing and they still just make this sound like erupt. That they're insane.
Yeah.
They are one of the best bands I've ever seen. Like
I'll quickly give my my choice then before we kind of ramble on too much. But I'm going to go for Lynyrd Skynyrd Freebird because it's just like the
old question.
It's just the fucking best song ever. It just has everything. It's just got like a fucking 10-minute guitar solo.
I remember that.
It's got a really good melody.
Someone's Guitar Hero.
Yeah, exactly, man. And it's used in like The Devil's Rejects, which is like the end of that film. It's just crazy. And what's the other film it's in? What other film is it in? You know the one Kingsman. Do you remember Kingsman?
I've never seen that film.
I've never seen that.
Have you not? No,
don't like the main actor guy, so I've just never watched it.
Taron Egerton. But no, Freebird's just a sick song, man. I think it's just like perfect rock song. So that's my choice.
What's yours, Aidan? What Blink 182?
I would. Do you know what? I would have to go
from that era.
I would probably go with like Fat Lip from Sum
41.
Sum 41. So yeah, because that's a mixture of rap and rock as well. So it's like that just shows the person you are, innit, in a song. So it's quite, and it ain't a rap song technically. So that's probably like the same thing with me. Like that's why I like bands like Sum 41 and Limp Bizkit, is because they've always like shown the two sides of me and it's never been compromised, and it's never been like bullied. It's never been like, oh, you can't do that. Like they just rock it.
Yeah.
Storm into the party like my name was El Nino.
Yeah. But my other question to you, this one you don't have to answer in it, but I just thought you guys are quite honest people. Was who's the most like, who didn't you like having on? Like who didn't you fuck with talking?
To be honest, man, and this might sound like the diplomatic response, but no, everyone's been real safe who's come through.
Because you're organic and how everything rolls.
Yeah, everyone's just been real like open. And
someone goes, oh, can I pay you guys to have my artist on your show and stuff like so it's like you're not going to get them dickheads that you don't even care about musically. Yeah. Everyone that you interview, I've watched, something about them. If it's just like and it's usually from the roots up, innit? You've always like known people's like bottom. You knew when they had nothing. So like it's quite good that you can like talk about that with them because you sort of make it humbling.
Yeah, man.
We've never had someone on that's just like been like a knobhead. But do you know what? I reckon
apart from me.
I reckon, do you know what? I think that might be partly down, Tom. Like most people just roll up by themselves. People don't roll up with like groups of people, and people don't roll up, after they've just been like a wave or something like that. So do you like, not saying that people that are coming on
unless it's compounds or like fucking...
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like you sometimes like when you get people with their mates, with group of people, they're a slightly more exaggerated version of themselves.
Yeah, I hear that.
People, like by themselves, they're just like they're a bit more real.
Yeah, so it's
nice,
vulnerable. Sort of
Yeah.
But no, we've never had any like knobheads.
No.
As of yet, hope not yet.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've got it to come, brother. I'm sure. I mean, if you want to, like, also it's just the unprepared, isn't it? Like when you go up to someone and they're unprepared, when you do, like, say you're actually interviewing people that like weren't even aware that you were at that event or something, and you go up to them and you start talking. That's when people do dick shit by accident because they haven't. Like before this, I let my mind sort of go. All right, I'll write down a couple things and I'll help remember what to say because it's a lot. when you the first one I came to you guys, I had no prep, and you can tell that's why I'm drinking fucking 3 drinks in one because I was just trying to make it interesting, but I'd not done enough, or I didn't feel like I'd put enough into my character yet to like fully say a lot and it means something. So I was like, you know what, like I'll give my best shot. And I like the best thing I took away from you guys that has always humbled me out is you said I got an old head on my shoulders, and it's like I actually really take that into like every bit of music I make. Like every bit of music I make is like, I'm always going to keep remembering shit. I got to keep that like
man,
in tune with what's been and put it into what's to come, but not in a way that doesn't, like you say, in a way that doesn't fuck it up. Like you can fuck it up, can't you, if you take some of the past and bring it back.
Yeah, man. Well, it's as usual, Bucks, man. It's been a pleasure, and welcome back anytime, man. But
just honestly, watch out for everything I'm doing because it's just gonna be a movie. And 741 as well. Working with these guys, I've got two guys I've literally been helping record and get up, and like, you know what I mean. They're my, like, again, I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe or I didn't think I wanted to, and I didn't think they were capable. Do you know what I mean? So these guys, I wouldn't work with unless I knew they were going to come through with good shit for people.
Yeah,
do you know?
I hear you,
so
man. I hear you.
I'm excited to hear my recordings and my mixes as well as just my music all the time, because I'm actually now responsible for someone else's sound, which is quite good. So between me and Bear, we got loads of music coming out ourselves, and then we've got loads of music coming out that we're helping other people do. So it's a community spirit, like you said. It's never been this good, brother. I love it. And like I said at the start, the people are making this shit grow. Every person that's adding to my thing is helping it fucking get higher, innit? So without people, this would be fuck all. I wouldn't be sat here talking to you. I wouldn't be anywhere, would I? So I love the people. Big up the people.
Power to the people, man. Where can people find you, Bucks?
In my bedroom. Big George Butt. This is how comfy I've been the whole time, guys, just in case you wanted to know. I've been in my boxes this whole time. That's how we do it.
Nice one, man. So before we do wrap up, man, is there anyone else you want to shout out? Anything else you want to plug?
You know what? Just look out for. I got Monday nights coming out on the 25th. Then I've got a song called Plan coming the Friday after that. But you know, that's just low key dropping. That Plan, like, it's just a low key drop. I'm gonna do a video to that at some point because I like it. Loads more stuff coming with JZA. Loads more stuff coming with Bear on the either producing or mixing. Working with 741, which is Baz and Cozy Rao. Those guys are dons, and they're my actual hometown bres. So it's nice. And yeah, man, just doing me and always fucking making sure I'm keeping an ear to what you guys are doing and what everyone else is doing. You know what I mean? That's just how it is.
Thank you.
If we all keep an ear on each other, that's how it works, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And not an ear, eye. I meant saying eye. Keep an eye on each other.
I knew what you meant.
Walking around like that, fucking trying to put in. But you know what I mean? If we all keep an eye on each other and make sure none of us ever does anything too stupid, never feel too bad for telling someone an honest opinion is what I want everyone to take away from this. Yeah, is it never feel too bad telling someone that they're doing a wrong move or they could do something a bit different. That's your true friend, isn't it? It's someone that can say shit comfortably. So,
you know what? I'm thinking, like, you just said that. You've got me like picturing like that. Like there's gonna be like a few months from now, we're gonna be all together, like sitting down someone from like the group or whatever. Like it could be like someone like Bear and just be like, listen, man, you need to get some sleep. You know, we need to take an intervention.
Like an intervention?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have actually slept from when we last talked now to then, bruv. He might have had a cat nap in that.
Yeah.
I don't know how a guy like that can still smoke draw, bruv. Like, he doesn't need to.
Oh man! Thanks, though, man. Aidan, where can you find the podcast, bro?
On all streaming platforms: YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, everything, man.
YouTube's better because you can see my face.
Yes, yeah, and the boxers. But yeah,
yeah. If there's a bollock hanging out like Simon off the Inbetweeners, you can slow mo it on YouTube.
Right. Yeah. Safe boys. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Peace. We're out.